Karen here, Earth Probiotic. I'm going to show you the benefits of building a soil factory using Bokashi fermented food waste. So we have noticed that a lot of people with small spaces are struggling to compost or bury their food waste in their gardens. So we've come up with what we've called an earth factory, and it is a bag for you to actually build a soil factory. And a soil factory is used across the world, mostly in cold countries where composting is a bit of a challenge, and especially in winter when everything freezes, and building compost heaps is just not possible. So the bag is made from upcycled billboard outdoor advertising vinyl. So the bag's been lined with that, and on the outside is a fantastic fabric that's made with recycled plastic bottles. You'll see there's a number of eyelets around the bag. The contents should breathe. It's a cold composting process, so you always need a little bit of oxygen to be incorporated within the space. So this soil factory has been sitting for about 2 months now. It's been warm here in Johannesburg. While the bag has sat mostly in the shade, it gets early morning sun, and Gavin is going to tip it out into the wheelbarrow and look at what the contents of it look like. So this is quite incredible actually. This is my first soil factory that I've built. And I think what I've loved about it is that it's just so easy. Once you've built it, you just leave it. You don't have to do anything to it. You don't need to water it. You don't need to turn it. You don't do anything. You zip the bag closed and you just leave it. That's incredible. So what I have here is a 20-liter bucket of, it's got some vermicompost, it's got some compost that we've made, homemade compost. I'm mixing it in to some of the soil that we've just removed from our first soil factory. So you can use any kind of soil, old soil, new soil, potting soil, clay soil, absolutely any soil that you've got. The whole idea is that you get to recycle what you've got, but if you don't have it, then you can go off to the nursery and buy fresh compost or soil. Compost is full of soil microorganisms, and that tends to hasten the breakdown process. So it's always good to add some compost. So giving it a good mix, and then we're going to build our new bag. So now we are going to build our soil factory. You will see that there are a couple of holes in the bag, and we're going to pop 2 sheets of newspaper folded, and that's just to capture any excess liquid that might still be in our Bokashi food waste bin. So after the 2 sheets of folded newspaper have been added to the bottom of the earth factory, we are now going to add about 1/3 of our soil mix. Once you've added the 1/3 soil mix, then we are going to empty our fermented Bokashi food waste bin on top of that. Before building your soil factory, you should take off all the liquid out of your Bokashi bin. This bin has sat for quite a while, a couple of weeks. I'd say about 5 or 6 weeks, quite a lot of liquid. We're going to take it all off because you want as little liquid in the soil factory as possible. So here we have a fermented food waste bin. It looks fantastic. You'll see that there is a lovely fungi on the top. It's called mycelium. It's a soil fungus, very beneficial to soil, and you often get it on the top layer of a Bokashi fermented food waste bin that has been fermenting for long periods. And also when it's been very warm. So we've had a little bit of both. So this whole bin is now going to be emptied into the soil factory, which now has a layer, 1/3 of a layer of soil. So what we have here is our bucket of fermented food waste, Bokashi fermented food waste, which has gone in on top of the first third of soil mix. And now we are going to mix another third of soil mix into the fermented food waste. So you want to coat the fermented food waste with this third layer of soil. Thoroughly coat it, mix it like a good old salad. So the fermented food waste has been thoroughly mixed in with the third of soil. And now on top of that, without mixing any further, you add the last third of soil, which will cover this food waste completely. So the earth bag is finished. We have added soil. What you will find is that once it has processed, it will reduce by a third. But this is absolutely perfect. We are finished. We will zip the bag closed and we will leave it and open it again in about 2 months. And ideally, it should go somewhere shaded with a little bit of early morning sun is fine, but it doesn't want to sit in full sunlight all day because it will just compromise the fabric. You'll leave it for two months at least. Longer, you don't have to worry about it. Longer is better. And ideally, you don't want to dig around to check on it. You just want to let it do its thing. It doesn't need mixing. It doesn't need added water. It just needs time. So I've placed the Earth Factory on some newspaper, and that will soak up any excess liquid that might soak through down to the bottom. I think the soil is dry enough that it will soak it up, but just in case, and it will be easier to pull the newspaper out and pop it into the compost bin rather than get the liquid onto the tiles. So now we leave it for 2 months or so and we see what happens.